It is No Gifts, Please, the parenting podcast by the pair with no real gifts, but a whole lot of gumption. Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Noviello.
And I'm Jenny Anchondo.
And it is gift giving season officially.
This is kind of your wheelhouse.
I mean, man, it has been such a busy couple of months. Of course, we do Gift Guide, which is our 15th year for those of you who follow along in my day job. But it's so cool because you get to see all of the things, right? From technology to toys to, people that are hard to shop for. And we had some super cool stuff.
My interest in your gift guide changed significantly when I had a child.
Oh, for sure. And you'll notice, in fairness, like Gift Guide itself had changed over the years. Like you could tell when we were pregnant because suddenly there was like a newborn section.
Yeah, and like a baby carrier.
Now there's like baby, right? Like that's how we first found the SNU, I want to say, was with Gift Guide, right? But yeah, no, did you do any of the Black Friday stuff last weekend or you're not
No.
Yeah.
Well, when I was young, like growing
you're also
up,
8 months pregnant.
Yeah, like I think I'm not supposed to like get on a plane nor leave a 15-mile radius at this point. But when I was little, I have excellent memories of my mom and I waiting outside of like the Kmart for a printer, like getting up the next day. And sometimes I have two little brothers. One's 4 years younger, one's 8 years younger. And sometimes one of them would come or both of them would come. And honestly, it was so special. We would take hot cocoa in like a little canister and it was really great. It wasn't, and then that was, I think, before people started pushing each other and it started becoming like life-threatening to go out. But I have such fond memories of that. And then my mother-in-law and I actually went out one day, which sounds so crazy. We actually went out on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in Tyler. And we actually had kind of a nice time too. We took a gal that we were shopping for and went to get her stuff for her during that moment. We got some really good deals and it was quite fun. But I think I have aged out of the process.
Well, I will say that, by the way, listening to these back, I will say I will say a lot. I didn't realize that was like a thing that I...
What were you thinking now? Just say it?
Just say it.
Oh, I don't want to know what I say all the time. I know I repeat the same phrases over and over and over, but call us out.
So this year, I am glad to see that a lot of stores, Walmart announced early on, we are not going to be open on Thanksgiving, and a lot of people followed suit. I do think that there is a need for the day off. My dad is a big, stores shouldn't even be open on Sundays. Like, you know what I mean? Like way back in the day where that was a day for family and whatnot. I do think that I do enjoy that the grocery store is open for the first few hours on Thanksgiving morning because I generally need something like, oh, we don't have butter or, oh, I don't, whatever. So that I do appreciate. And I do appreciate the people that, that do work on the, on the holiday. But I miss the Black Friday more. I love that. You know what I mean? Like where it was like, okay, people camped out and then
broadcasting from it or actually camping out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's super fun.
Well, I don't know that I've ever camped out, but I've certainly been to my share of Black Fridays over the course of the last 25 years, right? As a newscaster. And you're right. It kind of started fun. And then it got to the point where it was like, okay, we're going to hand out vouchers now because, the $1,000 TV for $20, we don't want people killing each other over. And then kind of the fun got sucked. And then and then we would do you can get the same thing online. So that became a whole. So I do think that there's a kind of a fun middle of but they moved it. It was because it used to be we're open at 5 a.m. on the day after Thanksgiving, right? And then it was we're open at 3 a.m. And then we're open at 2. Well, we're open at midnight. We're open on Thanksgiving Day. We're doing this on Halloween.
And then people revolted. And then people started calling out the businesses that were open and then kind of canceling them, being like, why aren't you letting your people be home for Thanksgiving?
So are there things on Brighton's? I know for Halloween, she was Ariel.
Yeah. As she has been every year of her life.
But is there something on her list for Christmas that...
Yes. So we've been getting the baby's room ready. So I think that sort of inspired. And she's actually quite into decor and style and rearranging things. So she said she would like some actual shelves in her room to have a doll display. So I found American Girl Doll sells the little holders for $1 million. Yeah. So I found some knockoffs of those. So I think we're going to do a big shelf display where she can display her dolls and have them posed. But it's I do think she's kind of seeing the baby's room, and it's like we're doing a lot there, and hired a designer to kind of make sure everything goes together right.
Did you go with the black wallpaper? I know you're doing like black,
it's
right?
black. Yep, it's black, and I know there's a certain portion of you that will think that that's completely hideous, and I am willing to accept that. But
but she'll sleep well.
I love it. I just think it's like edgy baby vibes.
I haven't been over to the house lately. It's upstairs, I'm assuming.
No, it's downstairs.
It is?
Smother Mother? You think that this Smother Mother could be on a
an extra bedroom on your first floor?
Well, now my office is upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's going to be like right there by me.
Oh, she really is. We may as well just paint your room black.
Have you ever nursed a baby? It's like
never.
So
my chest is too hairy.
It's just really essential to be close. So it's like we did more of an open-ended wallpaper that is not quite, it's like she's not goth. It's not goth. It's just like, just hear me out. Maybe we can put a picture up here, but hear me out, everybody. The black nursery is going to be gorgeous, but Brighton's been seeing that. So then she's kind of thinking for Christmas, she wants to have the doll display and she wants to be able to coordinate it and organize it. And then there's a couple little things, Littlest Pet Shop. Are your kids into Littlest Pet Shop?
They're not, but I've featured it. I know what it is.
Okay, so she's into Littlest Pet Shop. She likes Polly Pocket, anything that's just like really
tiny,
small, and then anything American Girl, or luckily like the Target version of American Girl. You know, like
she's that brand loyal.
She's super cool with that, like no problem with American Girl. And then there's a couple books she wants. So I don't know. What about the boys?
That's really sweet. I love that.
Yeah.
What was I just going to ask you about? You know what? One of the things that I noticed back in, what was it? September, October? You had your baby sprinkle. And one of the guests, and I thought it was so sweet, and I only got to meet her in conversation with you and the hostess. Do we say hostess still? Am I allowed to say hostess? As opposed to host?
As opposed to, is it like gender neutral?
I don't know. But anyway.
She's okay with being called hostess.
She's fine. But this other woman brought a gift for Brighton, which I thought was so sweet, because I would imagine, especially, you know, when Hudson was born, Jacob was not even 2 yet. So, and nobody, I was getting bigger, but it wasn't because I was pregnant.
There wasn't all this lead time where everybody's talking about it perpetually in front of you.
And they were sharing, we didn't make any changes to anything because they were sharing the nursery. So Jacob got a big boy bed, but other than that, he didn't, you know, there was no, like one day Doug and I went to the hospital overnight and we came home with a new person.
With a new person
and
who cried.
And we have this darling picture, I love it so much, of, because Hudson was born during the holidays too, and you'll find that they'll put your baby like in a stocking and it's so cute and festive. And we brought him home, and we have a picture of the moment that they met for the first time. And it's, you know, and we had done all the research about like, okay, what do you do? And we're bringing this baby, and will he reject it? Like when you have a dog, like will that, you know?
Yes, how you bring the blanket home from the hospital for the dog.
Thing,
Charlie still sleeps on the blanket from Baylor downtown.
Really? I love it. You know, do we bring, and Jacob walked up and he looked and we said, Jacob, this is your little brother. And he looked at Hudson, he said, baby. And then just went back in the other room and watched Sesame Street.
And that
was it. They've been best buddies ever since. We were like, that was a lot easier than we thought of. But for Christmas, so Hudson so we just had his birthday party. We hired a magician. Did we talk about this? Okay, this is the best parenting hack ever. So I'm totally am bragging, because I was like, this is a light bulb moment. So he's not into the ASI gymnastics parties. Lovely parties. It's just not his thing. We usually do like the SOAR, you know, which again, great place, but like
you got to think of something different.
And what does he like, right? So Hudson loves magic. So I was like, we should hire a magician, but we have a December birthday. So that means inside my house magician.
Yeah.
So 20 kids inside of my house.
Such a good house though.
Not for that. I feel like you have a good entertaining house.
I guess you have more rooms. The rooms are more separate.
Right. But your house, the kitchen is open, and and there's a dining room and right off the kitchen, and then the big family room, and then the whole wall opens
Hudson's
up to
magician.
You know what? You should have hosted
How
Hudson.
rude.
I mean, geez. I mean, come on. So I was like, you know, in my mind, I was like, we could do it at the house. And Doug's like, oh, He's like, not that I don't want people in the house. I don't want to deal with you stress cleaning the house before these people come over, because they're not you. I would clean for these people.
Okay, fair.
So I was like, okay, well, we could do it in the yard. He's like, it's in December. Like, it could be very cold.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, well, heated tent, obviously.
Yes.
No, like
that
not
would
for
it would be like the circus vibes.
5-year-old's birthday party, right? So here's my parenting hack.
Okay.
I wrote to the director of his daycare, and I was like, Hudson would really love to celebrate his birthday with all of his little friends from daycare. Would you be open to us hiring a magician to come and entertain the kids during the school day?
Oh my!
And she was like, that is a wonderful idea. Would it be okay if I brought maybe a cake as well, and maybe a sign and some balloons? So she's like, yeah. She's like, how? I was like, it'll be like a 45-minute thing and he'll entertain the kids. She goes, do you think we'll need a bigger room? Do you need me to set some spaces? So now his school hosted essentially his birthday party.
And staffed it.
Like
they staffed it.
And all I had to do was hire the magician and bring
the parents were paying for it. Like the
and
guests,
everybody's there. There's no like who's invited, who's not invited,
what family,
who's coming,
what extended family.
And I also just saved all of these parents from having to attend a child's birthday party and worry about whether or not to bring a gift.
Right, because it just happened upon them. They didn't know it was even happening. Right. They just stepped into school
He didn't even know it was happening.
Oh my gosh, it was like a surprise party. That is such a good hack.
It's a good one, right?
It is such a good hack. I was like, definitely stealing that.
So, well, now it's the last. That's it. I mean, you can do it for your next one, but like this is our last year of daycare. So I don't know that his elementary school's going to
like in second grade. Can you just call off math class for today because it's my child's birthday and I would like to use this as a venue. Do you have a circus tent by chance?
I mean, they probably do.
Soft serve day.
Okay, so anyway, he's into magic. I digress. Jacob is into math at the moment, so I got to figure that. The other day he was, doubling numbers. He started with the number 30. I was like, what are you doing? He was very intently writing on a pad.
So brilliant.
I said, what are you doing, buddy? He said, I'm doubling numbers. And I said, oh, cool. I said, what'd you start at? He said, 30. I said, what are you up to? And he looked at his paper and he was like, 16,940,000,000. I was like, what? And I looked and there was like pages of him like adding two numbers and then adding that with itself and then adding that with itself. And it was in the billions.
This is not something that happens at our house.
I was
this is from any of us.
Yeah, but your kid never gets sick and eats whatever you put in front of her. So
we all have our things, right? She's an ox, but she
can't
really add. I don't know. I saw this funny thing on Instagram the other day, and it was like, remember when you were learning math and your teacher said, you better learn this. You're not going to have a calculator everywhere you go. Well, we showed them. So Christmas gifting though, or holiday gifting though, how do you guys, so when I was a kid, our tradition was, and for anybody that may be listening with their children, this is probably an adults only portion of the show. Good call.
Our tradition was you came down on Christmas morning and Santa had come the night before and all of the gifts were out, wrapped in Santa's paper.
Gifts were wrapped and the
all
other gifts
of the gifts were from Santa.
Oh.
Santa was the only person who brought gifts.
Oh.
All of the gifts were from Santa. To this day, Ro Noviello has Santa paper that only gifts from Santa will be wrapped in. Like this coordinating paper is Santa gets a different paper for each person, so there's no confusion. There's an identical number of boxes for each person under the tree. And then when Santa, whom by the way, shows up to our home during dinner, comes with a sack of presents, those presents contain the matching wrapping paper from all the other gifts that Santa brings, because in his workshop, he only has very specific paper and nobody else would ever have that.
Correct. It wouldn't be like at Walmart.
Correct.
No.
Wherever. So that was it. So everything was from Santa.
Nothing was from your parents.
You know what it was? Looking back, it wasn't. It was all from Santa.
That is super different. Well, I actually give your parents a lot of credit because some parents are like, I'm going to let this be the Santa gift. And it's like the lame gift. And then they're like, I got you a car. Yeah. Like I want the grand gift to be from me.
I'll have to ask them. But as far as I know, it was, so.
And how long did it go for?
Until
like, is it still
one
today?
Day I found the Santa costume in the attic.
And did you tell?
Well, I was the younger one. So I think that the jig was up already for, for my sister who's 2 years older than I am. But now, so my parents Santa comes, same kind of thing, because we celebrate at their house and the boys are there, right? But in our house, Doug and I sat down and we had a conversation about it, and he was like, "I'm not comfortable with Santa being this like cosmic cash machine of gifts." And
it's very 2023 of him.
Well, and like the situation of like, "Hey, what'd Santa bring you?" And be like, "Oh, he brought me 27 gifts." And they're like, "Oh, I got socks."
No, for sure.
Oh, by the way, Santa only fills stockings at Roe and Frank's house with toiletries and lottery tickets. I mean, that's what stockings are for.
Not oranges. So we got oranges. This is what Doug's doing this for me, for my actual benefit.
I will say, as a kid, I would also love watching my mom open her stocking, because then sometimes they would also be like, "Oh, here's like deodorant and like a toothpaste, and oh my God, this is a diamond ring,"
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, it's so sweet. But yeah, so anyway, we do for Santa gifts. Santa brings a couple of things for the kids, maybe one or two or three, and then daddies buy. And by the way, we also don't do
gifts with you.
We don't. We do
you do it before or after?
We do it after. And then we honestly don't buy a whole lot of Christmas gifts. I mean, they've got a couple. They've got an uncle.
Santa's doing it.
Well, not because Santa's doing it, but like, so my parents, right, buy them gifts, and we put a limit on that as well. It's not like, hey, do whatever you want. And of course, my mom, God love her, she'd be like, "Well, our budget that we set aside for each of our grandchildren is X amount of dollars. And because you guys restrict the number of gifts we can give the kids, I've also included a check for the balance that you can put into their savings account or whatever it is." She's so sweet.
She's how many grandkids does she have?
4.
Okay, I knew that. No, I knew that.
So our nieces are 20, well, about to be 20 and 22. No? Yeah, about to be 20 and 22.
So Jacob and Hudson are getting the same volume of gift as the 22-year-old. Yeah, so I can see where like the money overflow would like make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
So what do you guys do with Brighton? What's the Santa tradition?
We do. Well, it was definitely something to be discussed when we got married, or when not after we got married, but like once we had Brighton, because
which was basically when you got
pretty
married.
much immediately. Yeah, it was like one Christmas later. So his family, they could just run out whenever they woke up and like start tearing open gifts. Or I think his parents maybe had to be there, but everybody would tear open together. Like
oh yeah, we do. Yes. Okay. Christmas morning is to tear open together.
Ours was like as kids, like get a picture of me and the boys. And then, they would before gifts, light the fire, set the stage, set the scene. This was like an original Instagram moment. If there had been Instagram, we would have won.
Get out the
nobody
Huckleberry
saw
Jam.
these. Yeah. Besides us. And then it would be like one person would go. Like we would all open our stockings, but then for the actual gifts, it would be like, okay, Jenny goes, then Joey goes, then Gus goes. And we would always try to be. Is that an
age order situation?
No, just like whatever. But then we would always, for some reason, it's like a scarcity mindset. We would always want to be the person to open the last gift.
Right. Because it would appear as though you got more.
Exactly. Yeah, so that was like always a thing. But then with Heath, when we had Brighton, he was kind of like, okay, I'll go. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And then I think he said he actually really enjoys the slower process because it takes a while. We only have one child. And so it was just kind of, it takes a while and she gets to stop and play with things. We may stop and eat brunch. I'll make like a really nice Christmas brunch and then kind of continue on with the gifts. But I wouldn't say like we definitely don't do a big excessive Christmas because you have to be able to afford them for a long time.
And what from the tree is from Santa and what is from you and Heath?
Santa is stockings and then anything unwrapped. So basically the thing that we don't want to wrap is the thing from Santa. So last year she asked for a bunk bed, but there was like a miscommunication on what defined a bunk bed because she was calling a bunk bed just like an elevated bed.
Oh.
But we heard bunk bed and started shopping for bunk beds. And then we realized at the 11th hour, no, she just means like she wants to play underneath her bed.
Right. Like a loft bed.
A loft bed. Yes. So that was a big thing. So that was just what she got from Santa in addition to like some candy and like little Polly Pocket things in her stocking. And then everything else I guess was from us.
Oh, that's nice.
But there wasn't, we don't, you're right. Because grandparents will put some stuff under there and,
People, and when you have small kids, people bring gifts. Like our good friends Reed and TJ, they bring a gift for the boys.
Exactly.
And, Doug's brother will send something. My sister certainly. And my parents, because we have Christmas Day at my parents' house, when my aunts and uncles and everybody get together, that gift exchange is in age order. The youngest kids go first, and then everybody, from there on.
Are you buying for everybody that's showing up at that Christmas?
No, so they do. You did years ago, but they now do, like, I think probably now. I think it used to be at Thanksgiving, but now it's even before that. They'll pick from a hat. So like, we're gonna Frank and Roe are going to exchange with Joe and Mindy, and
I like that. It just takes the stress out.
And people like submit lists.
Oh, they do. Oh,
yeah.
Well, you know what? At first, I definitely used to kind of judge that and be like, oh, how tacky. No. But now I really appreciate it, because then you just know you're going to nail it. You know whatever your budget is, and you can kind of look and see, okay, this thing is within what I was planning to spend, and they will like it. In fact, I just pinged my brother and his wife, like, hey, is this Amazon list like up to date? Like,
well, that's right, because I'll go and like check my dad's Amazon wish list, and like I'm like, hey, do you realize some of the stuff that's in here? Like, or did you buy? And it's generally like,
or did you already buy it?
And it's like a knife set.
Oh my gosh, he's sharing a list with my brother.
I'm getting you knives or a pan or whatever it is you need for Christmas. I remember as a kid when we kind of switched to that. One year, I remember I got in big trouble because I found the gifts prior to Christmas. They were under my parents' bed, and What
were you doing under there?
Looking for gifts.
Okay. So it was a mission, and you accomplished it.
I mean, I think, I'm thinking of another story in my mind, but we'll get to it another day. And I found the gifts, and I kind of like poked a hole through the wrapping paper to see, and I remember exactly what it was. It was a container for my Legos. And I was so excited that I got it. And then my mom found out that I did it, and she was pissed. Yeah.
Because it was Santa. Like, because everything's from Santa. I can get that. It just spirals everything. Right. And that you went. That reminds me, Brighton wants Legos. Oh, I need to add that to the thing.
Yeah, Lego Friends, right?
Lego Friends, yes. And she wants the princess version, and she's like, you keep getting me the little, the cheapest one.
She wants the set.
She wants the set.
Yeah.
Legos are so expensive.
They're expensive and, difficult when you step on them. So make sure that you have a good spot to
stand
keep
ready.
Them. So again, the jury on Santa here, one or two things. Yeah. You don't wrap. That's kind of a nice idea.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. But Heath and I will camp out, and he helps out a lot. I'll do the purchasing generally.
Yeah.
He'll do, maybe his mom or his dad, one of them, unless I have an idea for one of them. And then he'll wrap, and I don't judge his wrapping. I am just thankful to have the help. So this is where I just step aside. I make no comments, except for I will say right now, it's not great, but I am so thankful for the help that I'm like, you do you.
Doug and I do not exchange Christmas gifts. I feel like I should mention that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a whole different topic. I don't want you to share that with me. He is such a good gift giver.
So he is. I've seen some of the gifts. So here's why. And this was a long time ago when Doug and I actually first moved to Dallas, and we didn't have any money, and Doug did not have any credit. And the only source of buying things he had was a credit card from Kohl's. So to this day, we refer to this as a very Kohl's Christmas. And I was opening up stuff, and I was like, oh my God, a rice cooker
from Kohl's,
towels, the what's her name? The Vera Wang sheet set.
They're nice. Kohl's
totally,
honestly has
totally
some
nice.
great gifts.
Great stuff.
But it's
but it got to the point where we were and then we tried the limit. Let's do $100 limit. And then of course one of the people would be like, I know we said 100, but I'm going to to surprise you.
And then the other person's
the other person didn't.
He's like, I got an extension on the Kohl's card.
Right. And then exactly. I got some Kohl's cash this year.
Yes.
And then it was, okay, we're going to only exchange one thing. Whatever. And then years ago we were like, all right, because then we had money, and we were like, listen, if I want something for $100, I'm just going to go buy it.
True.
So instead, we switched to a different gift giving, which is every 2 weeks when we get paid, a set amount of money is withdrawn from our paychecks into a family vacation account. And our gift to each other each year is going on a vacation together that is paid for because it gets taken every 2 weeks out of our paychecks.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I would adopt that. I think that's great. We do that for our anniversary. We don't do anniversary gifts, but we go somewhere.
We do birthday gifts. Maybe
because it's only the other person.
Right, it's just one person.
It's one.
And yeah.
Is there a limit or is it a free for all?
It's a little bit of both. He's always like, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, I want you to show me how well you know me and how much you love me by buying something that I would love. Not that difficult. So last year, do you know what I got last year? Which I will say when I opened it up, and he's totally listening, but when I opened it up, I was like, oh, that's sweet. Guess what it was?
What?
It was $250 worth of Starbucks gift cards. He's like, you buy iced coffee every day.
Like it was.
And I was like, you know what?
Showing he knows you.
You know what? It was pretty nice when I didn't have to pay for my iced coffee for the however many months that.
For however many days that lasted.
However many days
for that week.
That lasted. But like same thing, like 1 year, I was like, hey, I would like 1 year for my birth, like even with my sister, like I was like 1 year for Christmas, I was like, I would love, you know what I would love? I'd love a year's supply of razor blades because I like,
you hate like going to buy them.
I hate buying
That's
them.
That's a great thing to tell somebody.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Like, or Doug, like he bought me my monthly subscription to the car wash 1 year for my birthday, like for a year's worth. And I was
that's
like,
cute.
Yeah. Like that kind of stuff.
That's really
like,
cute.
Right. I mean, these are the things I enjoy.
No, that's great. I like a spa gift card.
Yeah, spa gift card.
I feel like you can't go wrong for anybody.
1 year
right?
he took me on a aerial acrobatic airplane ride, and we both got so sick. And I was like, "Just take me to a spa."
So then he was like, please. "Here's a Starbucks gift card, sir. Thank you for playing."
Oh, of course, we'd love to hear about your holiday and gift giving tradition. Should we have a poll question, or like maybe something about Santa?
Let's ask about Santa. Is Santa
or whomever the
is the big gift from Santa or is the big gift from you?
Yeah,
are you selfless like Steve's parents or on the other end?
Or do you just simply not want to wrap it in the most oddly shaped item is the Santa gift?
Us.
You can answer the question right now in our online poll. Go ahead and give us a like, click subscribe because we would love to make sure that you know about every new episode that comes out every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. And if you do nothing else today, go find yourself a friend that you don't have to clean the house for. Happy holidays, everyone.